Now, as a thank you for your first purchase from me, you also get access to running your own AI agents inside of Claude. This utilizes what's known as the Claude Model Context Protocol. You've probably heard of this term. It's very hyped up. It's very buzzing right now. It's short for MCP, Model Context Protocol. Essentially, MCP is a simple way for all AI models across the world, especially Claude, to communicate with tools that exist already. To things like Notion, Todoist, Mondays, Jira, Slack, whatever. All of those tools can easily work with your AI agent because of something known as MCP. And the Second Brain OS makes this process even easier and even smoother. So today I'm going to give you access to the Second Brain OS MCP server, which connects directly to your Claude and allows you to have an AI agent running as per your customization, as per your requirement, right inside of Claude. So first, what you want to do is head into your email and search and find this email which says added a feature Claude MCP for you, right? Now you can click this button, or alternatively, you can go to your dashboard and you can just click on this one, setup link over here. And this will open this page where you have all the instructions to install the Claude MCP, right? The first thing you want to do as part of this is make sure that you have the Claude Desktop application downloaded and installed. So make sure to head to this link over here, claude.ai/download, and download the application for your platform. By default, very important, by default, what will be in white represents what your computer is using. So if you're on a Mac machine, it will highlight this one. If you're on a Windows ARM64, it will highlight this one. If you're on another kind of Windows machine, it might highlight this one. Just click the button that is white and download that one and install it, right? Once you have installed Claude, make sure, and let me just show you what I mean by that. Make sure to force quit Claude. So you want to go here and press quit, right? Like properly quit. Claude needs to be shut off after you download it, right? Now, after you've done that, what you want to do is go and Google something called Node.js, right? If you've not heard of it, that's perfectly fine. Node.js is a way for something known as JavaScript, a programming language, to run on your computer and do things, So all these programming languages require what's known as an engine in order to run and execute code. So all the programming languages don't work on your computer by default. They need that engine to be there, and then they can only run if that engine is present. So there's another engine called UV that is for Python, and for JavaScript, it's typically Node.js. There are other ones, but these are the two most popular ones. UV is the most popular one for Python. Node.js is the most popular one for JavaScript, right? So you head over here, and just like we saw on what Claude did, it highlighted the one that you need. Node.js will also highlight the one that you need. So you'll end up on a page like this when you go here, nodejs.org/en, en for English, press install, and it will already pick the best suitable package for you. So now click over here, and this will download the Node.js package. Let me just show you what that means. I'm just going to download it to my downloads folder. I'm going to open that. And then it's going to ask for my permission to continue and ask me to install that. I don't know if I can make this any larger, but I hope you can see what's on my screen already. So once you do that, press continue, etc., continue. And you just need to press agree, and then this will start to install everything, right? Now, at some point, it will ask you for some default option. You can just select the default options. There's no customization that you need to make. Just keep it as the standard installation as ever. I'm not going to install it because mine is already installed, but you get the point of it, right? Now that you have the Claude Desktop application installed and the Node.js JavaScript engine installed, you can now connect your Second Brain OS to Claude to have a fully functioning, powerful AI agent. Now for the next step, if you're a Windows user, you're going to press the Windows key and type in CMD. That will open up something known as PowerShell. It's an app that looks like this. It's got a black background and you can enter commands there. And if you're on a Mac, you want to press Spotlight, which is command space, type in terminal and press enter. And again, it will open something like this. Let me zoom in and show you what that looks like. Let me also press Control+ to zoom it really in, right? Now, this is the OG way of using a computer, right? At some point, computers didn't have a lot of these fancy UIs, and there weren't fancy apps either. So everything was done through a command. Let me show you what that means. So we've just installed Node. So you just want to type in node-v, and it will show you the version of Node, right? So similarly, you can use these commands in order to navigate your computer, open files, run code, etc. It's the OG way of using a computer. And anytime you're in a movie, a sci-fi movie or an action movie, this is what you see opening up and people just typing in code and running it. This is that exact same thing. Minor digression, but I thought it would be insightful. Anyway, what you're going to do is now head back to the Second Brain OS, the Claude MCP page, and I strongly recommend that you pick over here this one, option 1, right? And you want to copy this command over here, just like copy all the way from here to here, and press Control C or Command C. Go into your terminal and just paste it, right? And then press Enter, right? That's it. It will now verify that you are indeed a Second Brain OS user, run the installation process, and update your Claude Desktop to connect with the Second Brain OS so you can have your own very powerful AI agent running inside of Claude. I have a minor bias here. I strongly prefer Claude over ChatGPT because it's way more powerful, way more efficient, and as far as writing goes, the responses are far closer to what I like to see in my writing. It's nuanced, it's detailed and specific. As far as coding goes, both of them are at par. I would say Claude is a bit better even in that regard, but I strongly prefer Claude. The only con with Claude is that it's a desktop app, and so it runs on the desktop app, not on a website. But once you get used to the desktop app, I don't think you'll think twice about it. Anyway, now over here, once the installation is done, it will say installation is successful. Please quit Claude and restart the Claude app, and then you can start to ask it for whatever you want. Now, at this point, you can just quit the terminal. So you can either go here and quit terminal, or you can just press Command Q or whatever the relevant command is on your machine. So I'm just going to press Command Q. Now, the next step is simple. You just want to open up Claude. So I'm just going to go here, open up Claude. And this time, once Claude opens up, I'll show you exactly where all of your Second Brain OS tools live. Now over here, 3 things will be available to you from the Second Brain OS, depending on what you've purchased. 3 categories of things. Number 1 are agents. You can give an agent over here to Claude Desktop and it will become that agent. Number 2 are skills. You can use skills independently of agents, and I've loosely coupled them. So if you want to use an agent with already some skills bundled in, you can use that. If you just want to use the skill directly, you can just use that specific skill. And then of course our MCP tools, which are also part of the package, often with the agents that I sell. So let me show you where to access that. You click on the plus icon here, go into connectors, and you will have Second Brain OS over here, right? And I strongly recommend taking this step is first go into tool access and click on load tools when needed. Or if you are sure that you want all tools to be available at all times, you can just click on tools already loaded, right? Either one is fine. If you are starting out as a new user, I recommend tools already loaded, and then you can narrow down to which tools you use frequently, right? Next thing you want to do is going to manage connectors so that it doesn't get annoying, and go into Second Brain OS over here and just click on always allow to all of these tools that you get from the Second Brain OS, right? Again, depending on what you've purchased, you will get tools relevant to your agent, etc., etc. Now you can go back. Now over here, if you want to access your skills and agents, what you want to do is go back into connectors, scroll all the way to the bottom. Be careful, you might miss this. Underneath, you will have this add from Second Brain OS. And over here, you can type in and find whatever skill or agent that you want. All the agents or skills that you've purchased from the Second Brain OS will appear here. So for example, I'm just going to select, which one? So many to choose from. Yeah, I like this one. This one's for creating pitch decks and all that. So I'm just going to add this, and like this is, you are this agent, walk me through what all you can do for me. And it's already telling you what it does as an agent, etc., etc. It can build pitch decks, presentation decks, whatever you want to call them. It has a visual design system in it. It can upgrade an existing deck to my design system, which I call the Kamil design system, naturally, because my name is Umair Kamil. So yeah, that's what this agent can do. And then of course you can also use the individual skill, because of course this agent is linked to multiple skills, and let me show you what that looks like. This is the complete definition of the agent, and over here all the tools relevant to this agent are mentioned, and it's shown that okay, these are the skills that this agent has. So it has deck context, which does an interview of you to understand what you want to build your presentation or deck on, then adding the branding and theming to your deck, and then the visual design of the deck based on theme, and then exporting the deck, and then evaluating, etc., etc. If you wanted to use just one of these individual skills, you would just go into skills over here, connectors, add from Second Brain OS, and you can, for example, type in MARP, and you'll see, oh, these skills are individually available to you as well. For example, I can attach this, and just click on add prompt, and be like, what's this about? And how does this relate to the earlier? And it will just now be like, oh, okay, I know about this skill. This skill was the first skill in the agent definition, agent pipeline, and I can do this, this, and that from this skill, which is basically create a presentation deck for you, right? Of course, there's like a handful of agents I give, and depending on what you've purchased is what you will have access to over here. Out of all the ways to use AI agents and for my own personal productivity and my own use, my favorite method has to be Claude Code. And I'm going to continue to be a fan of the OG way of using a computer, a laptop, which is through the terminal. Now, God forbid, even if Claude Code goes away, this way should still work for you because the model context protocol is something that will indeed survive the test of time. Now, the idea of MCP is that these tools and these agents and whatever it is that I'm giving to you today should work with any AI agent centric tool or any harness, as they call it, right? Claude Code is a harness, OpenClaw is a harness. A lot of these other tools which use the terminal are also a harness. And a harness is just often a terminal application which can take control of your computer, use it, and do things on behalf of you. Now, the way to install the Second Brain OS and get it to work with Claude Code is that, of course, you will need to have Node.js installed, and you don't need the Claude Desktop app, but you do need a couple of packages, right? And the way you want to get those packages, and these packages are known as CLI packages or command line interface or terminal packages. So what you want to do is go into applications and over here find this folder called utilities, go into it, and over here you will have another one called terminal and just click into it. And when you open the terminal, you're probably familiar with it from one of my last videos. If not, no problem. What you will see is this screen, right? It might be slightly different, but you will see last login, maybe your username, your MacBook name, whatever it is. You can press Command plus as many times as you like to zoom in, and this will get bigger. I think this is big enough for me. And the first thing you want to do is install Claude Code. My preferred method is to, if you're on Mac OS, is to have Homebrew installed. And the way to install Homebrew is very simple. Just be like Homebrew and go into this link. And you can copy this command and run it. And just to show you how that works, you will just paste this and press enter and it will install everything. As you are installing Brew, you will first need to enter your laptop password. Once you install it, it will run the process fully. At the very end, in your particular case, because if you're doing especially if you're installing it for the first time, you may have to set the path. So read the last bit of it carefully if it's instructing you to run a command. Copy that last bit and then run that so that brew is set to the right path, right? Once that's done, what you want to do is just do brew install and type in three things: npm, nvm, and node, right? And it will just install all three of those things. And in my case, because it's already installed, it's not going to let me do that. Once you have all three things, which brew, which npm, which node, the command to install Claude Code is very, very simple. You will just say brew install Claude Code. And it will do the needful and it will just do whatever it needs to do. In my case, Claude is already installed, right? Now I can type in clear again. You want to go into Finder and press Command Shift G and type in the approximate icon. If you press Shift and this button just before one, you will get into this one, right? Over here, you will go into your username. It will appear as your username once you do this and press enter. And let me just clear my screen and you will land into something like this. What you want to do is create a new folder here. You can call my knowledge, knowledge work, my second brain OS, my agents, Claude, whatever. I'm just going to call it my second brain OS and just go here, right? Now, if you head back into the terminal and from here, I want to navigate into that folder I just created. So you can type in ls and you'll just see the list of folders inside your root, which is your username. I have that folder called my second brain OS. So what you want to do is type in cd my second brain OS, right? From here, you will type in Claude and and enter, right? Now, this is a safer way of using Claude because you are limiting Claude to this folder as opposed to having access to everything in the permissions to reading all the files on your computer, right? Of course, you can gradually give permissions and that will be a thing that you will face when you're using Claude Code, but just something to be very aware of. You can start safe and then kind of increase the permissions you go. Now here you can press, yes, I trust this folder and just read what you are seeing in front of you. And then you can also enter and Claude Code will have started, right? In your case, because you'll be installing Claude Code for the first time, it will walk you through a bit of a wizard to maybe set up your theme, configuration, etc., etc. Now, because you want to maximize the number of tokens you can use with the Second Brain OS, you and Claude, what you want to do is press slash and type in config and make just two very simple settings. One is that you want to find thinking mode and make sure that you switch off thinking mode because it's really not necessary for most things. Or once you're in thinking mode, if you move the arrow key right or left, it will switch to true or false. Of course, you want to just shift it to false. And then here you want to go into model, and model, when you press the right arrow key, you'll enter this model window. You want to select Opus, but make sure it's on low effort. And the way to do that is to use your arrow keys again. So right, you will go more, and left, you will go to, lowest, right? So let's just go from the very top, which is max effort. I'm just going to go to high, medium, and low. Once you're in low, press enter. Once you're back on this, just confirm that you have indeed set thinking mode to false. And you can just press enter to save here, and you are done. So now the model is set, config is set, all of it is done. Next thing is, if you've already ran the Second Brain OS command, you can type in /MCP, and you'll see that the Second Brain OS is already connected. If you buy something new from me during process, all you have to do is for an existing chat with Claude Code, not new ones, you can come in and press enter on the Second Brain OS and just press reconnect, and it will reconnect to the Second Brain OS and pull your latest tools or agents, skills, whatever it is that you have access to through the Second Brain OS, right? If you've not installed the Second Brain OS, what you want to do is head back into the browser, go into this tab, and copy this first command, go back into your terminal. You can open a new tab in the terminal. Just type in cd so that you're at root, paste the command, enter. You might be prompted to enter your laptop password. And so you can enter your password and press enter. You won't be able to see that password. Of course, that password is safe. It remains on your computer. When you're installing packages and things to the terminal, it's common for it to ask you for your password because it's verifying whether it's actually you making the installation, right? But rest assured, it's generally safe. It's okay. So yeah, once it's installed, and if you, just to reiterate my point earlier, what you can do is head back into this tab, and you can start a new session, or for an existing session, just /MCP, and then Second Brain OS and reconnect, and you'll be back into it, right? Once you are done, any agents, any tools, and any skills with Second Brain OS will be available via / commands. It's very simple. So for example, let me show you the Calendly AI agent, right? And over here, I have a Calendly skill and a Calendly AI agent for this account, right? So if I do this, it will intuitively know and take the persona, the character of your Calendly AI agent, and it will do the needful. For example, I can say, what tools do you have access to, and what skills do you have access to at the Calendly agent? And really, from this point, it's a rather simple process. You're just conversing with it, chatting with it. You can, of course, use as many tech savvy things as you like, but the Second Brain OS really gives you a batteries included pack. Everything is at the touch of a button, / type Second Brain, and you will find so many tools and so many things that whatever it is that you have access to from the Second Brain OS, it'll be available, right? And so I can just say, pull the skill and walk me through it. And it will ask, for example, even which skills to pick, because the Second Brain OS gives mega skills. So I'll be like skill 4, and it will pull skill number 4. And just to show you what a tool call looks like to the Second Brain OS or Second Brain OS agent, and you'll see that it made a tool call to the Second Brain OS, and then it pulled this skill, and then yeah, now it's just a very intuitive process. It's asking whether I want to proceed, do something else. You get the gist. Really, Claude Code is, people overcomplicate it. It's really quite simple. As a thank you for your first purchase, I'm giving you access to the Second Brain OS Custom GPT building feature. It's a very straightforward, no fuss, hassle-free, and completely no-code way to build AI agents that work right inside of ChatGPT. I mean it, right inside of ChatGPT. What that means is you don't have a new monthly subscription, you don't have to switch away from your favorite AI tool, and you have nothing to worry about because it's hassle-free and works the way you already do. It feels natural, it feels easy. We're going to get straight into it. So first, you're going to look for this email called Added a Feature, OpenAI Custom GPTs. And you can press the button over here. It will open this page that you see on your left. The one that says API schema, creating custom GPTs with Second Brain OS. And the video that you're watching is, of course, here, right? The other way to access this is to go to your dashboard and just click on Setup link against the OpenAI ChatGPT icon over here. And it will take you to the exact same page, right? Once you're done, you just want to make sure to copy your API key over here. And you want to make sure to download your schema, right? And when you download it, you can name it to something like my agent or whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to call it my agent and my name, right? Once you're done, you want to head over to chatgpt.com. And then we can just click over here into GPTs. And over here, you're going to press create, right? And you just want to head straight to configure. Now, I strongly recommend upload a picture of yourself because this will be an AI agent dedicated to you. So I'm going to quickly find a picture of my own. That works. I'm going to call it my own name. In this case, I'll add V2 because I already have one of my own running. And then you can leave the description, the instructions, and conversation starters. You can leave all of these empty. And then most importantly, click on Create New Action. And this is where we start to really configure your custom GPT. Don't get intimidated. It's very straightforward. All the hard work is done. First thing you want to do is press this settings icon next to authentication. Press API key then. And then make sure to press bearer over here and then just paste the API key that you copied earlier, right? Just to note that API key was over here. It's also on your dashboard. Let me show you where that is. Right over here. Your API key is also on your homepage or dashboard as well. So you just want to make sure to copy and then make sure to go here, make sure to paste, make sure that it's there, save. All right, perfect. Over here it says schema. So we're going to go and open that document that we just downloaded. That is exactly what a schema is. And let me just open it over here. Now that you have the schema open up, make sure to copy all of it and then just go over here in the schema section and paste and then press format. And voila, the Second Brain OS actions are available to you. The next quick step that you have to do is add secondbrainos.com/privacy policy. Make sure you add it as an HTTPS. OpenAI requires that whoever is giving you such a platform, an agent building platform, any automation thing, they give their privacy policy transparently. And I've done the same. So you enter this, and just to be clear, my privacy policy in general, I have a retain as minimal data as possible kind of policy, but you can have read of it and come back with any questions. So my goal is to provide you value while minimally retaining data. Wherever I can choose not to retain your data, I choose not to retain your data. But again, you can have read of it and come back to me whenever you want to. Now I have some great news for you. Your AI agent is officially ready and you can run it.